As to, and in regard to, the issue of doing more harm than good with vaccines. Actually, we can apply that to modern medicine, the whole ball of wax. On my site, factfacts.info, I have a page that's titled The False Foundations of Modern Medicine. Go into that page and look at what Antonin Béchamp knew in opposition to what Louis Pasteur knew. Louis Pasteur was not the founder of modern medicine. Antonin Béchamp was. In fact, Antonin Béchamp looked at, in those early days, and it's pretty amazing, this guy was pretty much just brilliant. He was looking at live cell blood microscopy in that day. Can you imagine that? And today, they have very high-tech forms of live cell blood microscopy. Very good forms of it. And what has the FDA done? Well, they did the same thing as they did with IV vitamin C. They ruled that it cannot be used in any form of human diagnostics. Not only can IV vitamin C not be used, but live blood cell microscopy cannot be used in any form of human diagnostics in a clinical setting. It's basically not allowed. You can do laboratory experiments maybe with animals or some roundabout way, but directly you cannot use it in any form of a practice that has to do with human health care. When you have vaccines, and say you inject a child with 5 to 9 to up to more vaccines, and if you were to ever look at that blood prior to that child being vaccinated, and then if the child has, let's say, adverse reactions, which of course all of the doctors and pediatricians deny was ever connected to the vaccine. If you look at that blood after that, you're going to see sick blood. You're going to see all kinds of crap floating in that blood. Aluminum adjuvants. If you were to just forget about vaccine contamination, which is an unresolved issue at this time. If you just took aluminum adjuvants and injected it into the bloodstream of a human, and you looked at the live blood cell microscopy after that, the massive changes that's going to happen in the blood sludging and the coagulation, and you can't see that really. As modern medicine wants to, they don't want to do anything but just sell drugs that are matched to symptoms and cover up the symptoms. But this is true science. True healthcare science involves the blood. The blood is basically the life source of the human being. Where are you going to find the answers if not in the blood? They can look under an electron microscope and they can see, basically everything's dead because the electron microscope kills anything that was previously living underneath that microscope. And that's really the source of their going to cure anything? I mean, it's just preposterous. You have all these vaccine shills saying, polio and smallpox vaccine, work because the FDA says so, and they approve of this, and the CDC says so, and the World Health Organization says so, and the American Academy of Pediatrics, they say so. Oh yes, this is like the magical, miracle, wondrous, holy water vaccines injected to save the world. When you look at the real historical evidence, and there's countless sources for that out there, that were in the day and time when those people lived, in the medical side, there's several doctors and people who lived, in that time, that recorded what happened in that day and time. Nurses and stuff. Eleanor McBean. Yeah, remember that name, Eleanor McBean, the poison needle. They say, Whale 2 is just nothing but a conspiracy theory site because, Whale 2 has all this medical historical information, but also there's all this other stuff that's on that site that's conspiracy theories. So they just focus on the conspiracy theory stuff, like spacecrafts and black holes and whatever. And they say, well, being that's on there, then that discredits everything else that has to do with historical medical history. Well, really, it's a preponderance of the doubt. And the preponderance really goes against modern medicine, because when you look at the whole picture, you can't just look at one source. You can't look at Whale 2. You can't look at just one source and say, this is the proof. You got to look at the whole ball of wax. You got to do all of the research. You got to look at everything. You can't just look at one source. Well2 basically is an excellent source for shedding the light on the past, historical, modern medicine truth, pharmaceuticals. My site, Factological, has tons and tons more information on this. You put that package all together, you look at that, it's just a really damning picture for modern medicine and vaccines. The only thing that's actually working out there, when you look at the alternative medicine side, the chiropractic side, homeopathic side, and all of the detoxification methods, and adding in cellular nutrition, which is basically raw food ingredients, vegetable juicing, and you see these people get on those programs, and chiropractic combined especially, you're going to see healing you can't imagine. You're going to see healing you can't imagine. They say, oh, poo. Oh, no, it's not anything. No, it's all conspiracy theories. Oh, my God, really? Go to my site, Factological. Get on my Facebook page, and let's start sharing information. If you're a parent, if you're an individual that's interested in vaccines, if I see you send me a friend request and there's absolutely nothing on your site, your page, that indicates that you have any interest in anything that I have an interest in, be it political, health-wise, anything like that. If I don't see any kind of common interest, I'll reject you. I might send you a message saying, what interest do you have? And if you don't reply, you're not going to get accepted. So there you have it. Factological. Thank you very much. Goodbye.